Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Rick's Picks. Well, the fans wanted the M.O.B.A.T. Hasbro decided to give them the Snow Cat, and now they're answering with their wallets. So, let's start talking about this. Roll that intro. So, let's get into this. Now, right off the cuff, we are 10 days out from the Snow Cat Haslab being done. Okay, we're 10 days out to that. And as of this moment, it looks like it's not getting funded. It sure to hell ain't making any of its tiers. That is definite and for sure. It may get funded like with one last push, but I can't see any of the tiers being made. So, what's wrong with this thing? What about this is not working for the fans? Because it's a beautiful looking vehicle. It's really nice. I like what they've done with it. I like that it comes with the original driver. I can't think of his name at the moment, and it comes with some nice tiers. It comes with, a snow version of Lady J, a snow version of Flint, and it also comes with like a little survival hut and what have you, for the Arctic, tundra and what have you. So it even has some of the better tiers because some of the other ones, the tiers weren't so good. You got patches and, goofy stuff like that. So you got a good vehicle, good tiers. What's the issue? And my thought is the issue is we didn't want it, or at least not at this point in time. The fans did not want the Snow Cat. They wanted the M.O.B.A.T. We all wanted the M.O.B.A.T. Matter of fact, Hasbro even did, like I believe it's like a survey or something, or something upon that likes to say, hey, what does everybody want next? M.O.B.A.T. was on the top of the list. Okay. Two, they told us we weren't getting the Snow Cat for a Haslab. They were saying the Snow Cat and the Thunder Machine were too small for a Haslab. So these were not going to be Haslab items. They were going to be retail sold, which would make sense. So if, Hasbro's telling us, no, this vehicle isn't becoming a Haslab, and everybody's saying, hey, look, we want the M.O.B.A.T. I don't know, Hasbro. I don't know what your issue was. Matter of fact, it was so likely we were getting the M.O.B.A.T. Even Viper Island, who's really good at their sources, really good at predicting things from Hasbro, they even thought we were getting the M.O.B.A.T. Or at least, if anything else, we were going to get the Mauler. So everybody was thinking tank, and then we got the Snow Cat. Well, the problem is most people don't want the Snow Cat right now. And the reason why I'm saying right now is eventually, yeah, people do. But we were all excited to be getting the M.O.B.A.T. And the M.O.B.A.T. made more sense. Made more sense to bring in the M.O.B.A.T. instead of the Snow Cat. And the reason for that is, one, on the Cobra side, we have the Hiss. The Hiss is the original Cobra tank. So it would only make sense to battle the Hiss with the original Joe tank, which would be the M.O.B.A.T. All right, we got Clutch and the Vamp. So we have that already. We had Breaker, who came with the Ram. So we got that as well. And now we also have Hawk, not General Hawk, but the original 13 Hawk coming with the MSS. So we're getting all these original Joe vehicles with original Joe characters. So it would only make sense that the next thing would be the M.O.B.A.T. It's what we were all excited for. It's what we all wanted, and we didn't get it. So fans are now upset about it, and we showed our upsetness with our wallets. We're like, okay, you're not giving us the vehicle we want. We're not backing your Haslab, which is a shame too, because like I said earlier, the Snow Cat actually isn't a bad vehicle, and it's not a bad Haslab. It's just it's not what we wanted. We wanted the M.O.B.A.T. with Steeler, okay? And, well, We're speaking with our wallets. And it's a shame too because they doubled down on it too. So not only are they saying, hey, look, you're not getting the M.O.B.A.T, they're going to tell us that we're probably never going to get because now they're releasing a 2-pack Steeler and Short Fuse. So now they're giving us Steeler without the M.O.B.A.T. And the last time they did that with figures such as, CoverGirl and Copperhead, we never got those two vehicles. So we never got a Wolverine and we never got the Water Moccasin, but we got the characters. And it looks like we're not getting either of those two vehicles. That's why I had them 3D printed up for my characters, which I did do reviews on. So, it's a shame. So they're more or less saying, hey, look, you wanted this, we're not giving it to you. And, me as a fan, and I'm sure other fans are very upset about this because I would have liked to have seen an official M.O.B.A.T, even if it wasn't a Haslab. Even if they would have came out and said, hey, look, we feel like the Snow Cat's a better Haslab, but we are going to release the M.O.B.A.T on, retail. Because that would make sense because the M.O.B.A.T, there's not a lot to it. It's basically a base model tank. So, we might want some extra accessories, maybe a really cool blast effect for the cannon, the treads to work, but there's not a whole lot with it. So, I think that would kind of make sense to be a retail vehicle. It may be a little bit on the pricey side due to its size, but fans would buy it either way. So, I feel like Hasbro in general, really did a number on us with this one. And I feel like a lot of other people are feeling the same way because the Snow Cat isn't getting back. And like I said earlier, it's the first one not to. And I feel like the reason the other vehicles got back, even though they didn't have really good, tiers with them, is, or at least for myself, because people wanted these vehicles. Everybody wanted the Hiss. I mean, yeah, some of its, tiers weren't that great, but we wanted the Hiss. The Dragonfly. People wanted the Dragonfly. Trying to think of the other ones. The Rattler. People wanted the Rattler. So these vehicles were all things people actually wanted. Yeah, it could have been better if they could have had some better tiers, but the vehicle themselves, the people wanted. And I feel like that's why the Snow Cat is falling short, is because it isn't what we wanted. We wanted something else, and we got this, so therefore we're not backing it. And that's just my thoughts on this whole situation. What do you guys think? Do you think people are not backing it because that we didn't get the M.O.B.A.T, or do you think there's other reasons? And I'm sure there are, but I feel like that's the main one. Are you backing the Snow Cat? Do you think you're going to get all the tiers? Definitely answer in the comments. I really want to know what everybody thinks about this. So, with that being said, I hope you guys did like this quick discussion. If you did, go ahead and check out my G.I.Joe playlist and hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So, until the next one, late.